Welcome, welcome to Wins News. I am your host and friend Amit Roy. Today I want to place in front of you an interesting topic, Kamasutra and porn. Because a lot of people mix this kind of, Kamasutra with porn these days because they don't know what is that. You know, first let me talk about porn a little bit. Porn industry is a visual industry, and I'm not going to moral things, but it gives addiction. As long as you're not addicted, some porn is okay, but it also changes your behavior. It influences on your behavior. That is orism. You know, I was doing some research work on porn viewing and sexual behavior of the modern day people as such, mainly youth. So I was very, upset seeing some kind of changes that oral sex has become so important, because of porn. It was not so prevalent 30 years ago. So look, these are the things, and sort of, things we do double penetration, etc., etc. Absurd things. These are fantasy, in a sort of bad fantasy. As long as it's romantic kind of thing is acceptable. But after seeing porn, a lot of people become abusive and aggressive. And it has some kind of bad effect on the societal system because of the behavior. As you're consuming porn alone in your house and forgetting it's all right. But if you start behaving like porn and think porn is a reality, then it's become very dangerous. A lot of people are calling women slut, beach, etc. I was seeing other day Mia Khalifa's interview, and she was being hugged and pulled, and when she refuses, she is called whore, slut, bitch, etc. And these are the mental thing one should understand how porn affects your mind. Plus, there is addiction, personal level. That is one thing. If you are seeing porn every day, many, many years, you cannot get out of that. This is porn. It behaves a lot of, it creates a lot of rough behavior in your life also, rough sex as well, which is not natural. Anyway, I'm coming to another interesting part of my discussion, that is Kama Sutra. But before that, please like me and subscribe me and share my channel. Kama Sutra is not a condom. Many Indians think Kama Sutra is a condom, but Kama Sutra has nothing to. It's a condom's name possibly, but Kama Sutra is a vase, Sanskrit vase. It's written on energy, love, etc., etc. It's not a pornography or sexual manual of positions, etc., etc. Only, it talks about social engagement. It talks about love. It talks about relations, how to commit adultery even. So it is not just a you know porn kind of thing. It's ancient thing. It's based on four principles: artha, kam, moksha, and this kind of thing. Four principles of Hindu philosophy and purushakar, etc. So you must not mix up that with porn. It is nowhere near any porn. It is not talking about any dirty word. It talks about sexuality, desire, you know, relations, even how to commit adultery. Why they're telling it? Seduction. People talk about seduction. Seduction is part of life. I was thinking foreign policy and all. How even in foreign policy there's a role of seduction. How Russian foreign policy it worked so heavily after communists took over. So look, I'm. It's an important thing in life. Plus, in tantra there is a sex. Power of sex. we have noticed. So, we cannot just totally throw away the sexual aspect of our life. Now, it's a vast, mainly vast. It doesn't talk about any vulgar things. It's never tells you kind of thing you engage in some sort of rough kind of thing. How to use a lubricant and all. It is not telling like that way. It is just telling how to love. I'm giving you a description how love is mentioned and sex is mentioned with a sacred fire of Jaga. It says, it talks about a woman. The desire is depicted as fire, and her firewood is her vulva, her smoke is her pubic hair, and her flame is in her vagina. And it's when the others penetrate, somebody penetrates her is the amber, and this are sparks are the climax, and cements are offering to the god, and that's how man comes out. It talks about energy and universe. It is not so simple. As you're going and you are engaging in a animated kind of sexual behavior like doing in porn. In Chinese philosophy also, Chinese sexual philosophy. Here they talk about semen and the sound of semen. Very interestingly. And here also they're talking about semen and how the semen should uh, behave, how you should caress somebody, a woman, and these kind of things, and how and when you should make love and when you should not make love. In pornography they don't tell like that. It is very boring in many ways. You see, after a few months, after a few weeks, you get totally bored. But here it talks about a philosophy, moksha, the liberation. Sex has a tremendous power, which you can achieve in a relation or in some sort of a strategy, which you cannot do it in 5 years, you can do it in 2 days. Sex has that much of power. Even more, I don't know, beyond that, sex has tremendous power. That's why sex is worshipped in Indian mythology, Hindu mythology mainly. So Kamasutra is in that line. You see, if you go to Hindu mythology, you can see Saraswati, Devi Saraswati, or Durga. In Hindu mythology, they are talking about her breast, how her breasts are, Kucha Jugal, etc. So when you worship Devi Durga, we worship her breast also. So we don't discard things. You know that is a respect. Here comes respect. This is why Kama Sutra comes into effect. It should be viewed in that kind of light, respecting a woman, respecting her desire, respecting her wishes, her consent. That's how we should understand that. But if you're going to porn, there is no such thing, consent, respect, etc., etc. Maybe there is some consent at that moment, but it's very mechanical. Human being doesn't behave like that in real time, and there is no measurement how woman can be aroused, how men would be aroused. There is no measurement. So that is also an important thing. That Kama Sutra, if you read Kama Sutra, you try to understand Kama Sutra, you will know it, or one should know it. And I think as India is attaining new height, this kind of culture, ancient lost culture, must be revived and properly, exhibited, properly presented and explored. Now, see, Indians are very sex-up people in most cases. I don't know many reasons, because Indians were under invasion for many, many years. So, that kind of culture was lost, and some sort of, superstitions and misconceptions about sex was engulfed by Indian society and engulfed Indian society. So, now revisiting Kamasutra, one can go to the roots, cultural roots, why it is important, why sex should be worshipped as it is worshipped in Tantra or Indian mythology, Hindu temples. It's not we, you know, we can revisit that going to Kama Sutra. Thank you very much, patient hearing. Please like me and subscribe me. Best wishes. Thank you very much.